I used to do this show in Nigeria years ago, and I used to have all sorts of people come, Christians mainly, but then I started inviting non-Christians too, and I had the comedian say, well, on my platform, you must do family-friendly stuff, no swear words, and every single one of the comedians say every time they've come, they've had to dig deep and become creative.
Yeah.
And I've had many of them are big names now. Have many of them say, you know, the only time I have ever done comedy that has been clean is when I came to your platform.
Wow.
So we can actually place a demand. The whole of creation is waiting for the sons of God to
That's
manifest.
true. Yeah.
We can take back that which brings pleasure to God by actually standing for light.
Yeah.
Well, let's see Pamoto.
Yes.
Pamoto.
Just add a little bit, you know, as you were saying, like, you know, that was how, yeah, I just had to add that background bit. But all the music, I've always wanted to do something for charity, always, you know. I've lived on the streets before. I've sold spoiled tomatoes in Nigeria. I've sold nylon bags when I was in Nigeria, because I was born here, you know. When I was 6, I went back to Nigeria to do my industrial training.
Industrial training, indeed.
I wouldn't do without it, but, you know, because it's cooked me, you know, and I've been through a lot. So I've lived on the streets even in London. Like when I proposed to my wife, I was living in a car.
Street?
Yeah, when I proposed to my wife, I was living in her car, and it was a D-Reg then. I was living in her car, so I didn't even know the reason why she had to say yes to me, but it was just God. So going through that background, I've always wanted to, like, you know, kind of do something, give something back. So there's this charity called Togo. They take care of people on the streets, widows, orphans, stuff like that. So every profit that we make goes to that. So
is there a website? Because I mean, I'm just, for lack of a better way to put it, I'm a sucker for things like that. I'm always getting involved, always bringing
soccer,
mission.
SOCCER?
Either way, man. Whether it's kicking it
I'm just pulling your legs.
Either way. But I know what you mean. We'll talk about football pretty soon. But honestly, that is inspiring to know that
Bless God.
actually, and we don't like to blow our trumpets, like you said, but a substantial sum has been raised and people have been supported in doing that.
Yeah.
Is there a website? How can people engage?
Yes, if people just go on my personal website, so everything is linked to it. So it's Tosh Shoggy, TOSHSHOGGY.com, toshshoggy.com. So if you want to donate, if you want to support in any way, like even the songs, like, because when we did Amujo, we sold it on iTunes on like over 150 stores. And you know our people, you know, at times, when I say our people, even me, when last did I buy a song? You know, at times we don't want to, you know, but I try, but at times we don't want to do that. So we didn't make so much, but from donations, people actually supported. So we, like, you know, raised a good figure. But for this one, we just said, you know what, we want to kind of like get a lot of downloads. We want people to like receive the song more. And then if you're blessed, if you want to, you know, do anything, then, and as God will have it, we dropped it October 10 last year, 2015 and 2015, and we've got like close to 170,000 downloads on the song.
Show us the dance before we're going to sign out with that, because
I wasn't expecting that.
No, we don't have to stand, you know.
Okay.
Just show us the move.
Because it's also a move. It's a move.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a move.
basically, you know, guys.
Man, people are going to
but
laugh
guys,
at
you know,
me
if you're
right
not
now.
African, because like Africans have it in their bones. I'm not saying like, you know, you other guys, you know, you can't dance, but you know, Africa, you have to add some flat.
That leaves her out, because she ain't no African. This one.
So you have to add some vibe. So you can't be lame. You have to like bend, you know, your back a little bit, you know, like that. Like you're on a bike, and then your two hands, you know, make it flexible, you know, and then you know, Pamoto.
Okay, we're motoring, and
you can do your leg. You can, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. Do your hair, but just basically doing it for God, because He's worthy. He's worthy to be praised. And like for me, Pastor Fred, you know, I'm pronounced dead when I was 1994. Wow. I was pronounced dead on campus.
What happened? You know what?
I've been through a lot.
Hang on. Let's watch the video, and then we'll come back and you give us an insight into some of these very interesting stories. Check this out. Pamoto. Pamoto.
Jesus, Triple T, Shoggy Tosh, Pastor Chaderi, so Pamoto.
As I walk out, they go, all the people look me go. Then they wonder why all the blessings know they talk. God is in control, now Him they lead me, Lord. So I go, they praise, they go, no turning, no stopping, keep moving there, Pamoto.
Addicted to the praise and the bass and the beat. Raising the hands and the praise and the dance and I really wanna be. Mountains sing, rivers clap. Praise should continually be in my mouth. Power, riches, wisdom, strength, honor, glory, blessing. Bangalo, Bangalo, Bangalo. I like it. Lamb that was slain, Lion of Judah, son of David. Bambato, did it to your praise and the bass and the race to the taste of the bass to the beat.
As I walk out, they go, all the people look me go. Then they wonder why all the blessings know they talk. God is in control, now him they lead me, Lord. So I go the praise, they go, no turning, no stopping, keep moving, there, yeah, Bambato. Oh, yeah, Bambato. Bambato. Oh, yeah, Bambato.
Hands in air, clap your hands. Dance to beat, wiggle, get addicted to the beat. Addicted, respected, deliverer, provider, sustainer, proclaimer, convincer, restorer. Addicted to the beat, restricted to the beat. Married to the beat, glued to the beat. Base of the beat, heart of a king, that's why I say promoter. When cancer comes, just say no. Depression comes, don't say yes. Pocket dry, just say no. Be addicted to the base of the beat. Jesus died for you and me. 39 Koboko C2. Addicted to your praise and the bass and the race to the taste of the bass and the beat.
As I walk out, they go, all the people look me go. Then they wonder why all the blessings know they talk. Now, God is in control, now him they lead me, Lord. So I go the praise, they go, no turning, no stopping, keep moving, there, yeah, Bambato. Oh, yeah, Bambato. Bambato. Oh, yeah, Bambato. Troubles are all gone now. Sickness is taken away. Tribulation is rolled away. Favor is everywhere. Yeah, Bambato. Bambato. Oh, yeah, Bambato. Listen, as I walk and they go, all the people look me go. Then they wonder why all the blessings know they talk. God is in control, now him they lead me, Lord. So I go the praise, they go, no turning, no stopping, keep moving, now yeah,
Shoggy Tosh in the building. Henry Soul, I see ya. PC, Pastor Child. Baby, best touch. I'm out.
Welcome back, viewers. That was Pamoto, or Pamoto, as some people, you know.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it for all the series.
It's okay. It's all right.
And by the way,
It's-
when Pastor Fred promised that he was going to do that Pamoto dance by himself, so
I think now's the time.
do you understand? And,
I think it's a
two,
good time for
there's
you.
two witnesses, so
Yeah.
Pastor Fred, you have to.
Where two or three agree.
Yeah, we know you're a pastor, but we know you can do it.
I can't believe this.
We know you can do it.
Number one, you've quoted so many scriptures. And you used to be a criminal lawyer, you're still a lawyer. And then you guys concocted that.
I know.
Anyway,
I think
it's
you
all
can do a
right.
good
It's all
dance.
right.
You can do the dance.
If you show me the dance, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the back, just make it
You
flexible.
know what? Next week, we will bring you some more moves. For now, I'm curious to hear. You said you lived on the streets. You said your heart stopped beating. You give us just a very quick summary of your testimony. Very, very quick. What happened? How did Christ transform your life? Because someone might be watching who basically have given up on life, and this might just be their moment.
Yeah. When I had the program Riot, it's very dear to me because like when I was in uni, I was an Aluta guy, and
By the way, Riot stands for Radical Impartation of Truth.
Yes. So it's not the riot.
Yeah.
But that just brought my mind back because when I was in uni, I was very troublesome. I was like, any excuse just to go home because in Nigeria, obviously, you can have strikes and stuff like that. So I was, I was doing my thing. But obviously, God had a purpose for me. And at times, children that, birthed by pastors. I don't know about Anu. Maybe Anu she's been perfect all the long. I don't know about her, but like me, I gave Dad a lot of hassles, and I've been very radical in the other way. Do you understand? But like I've been through a lot. When I was 6, went back to Nigeria. I was born in Birmingham, and I lost the accent, which in a way is a good thing. I don't mean anything against people from Birmingham, but like
Yeah,
guys.
It's all right. It's all right. Okay.
We speak well, but I'm glad the way I speak now anyway, if I put it that way. So went to Nigeria and things turned, a little bit, the other side, and things really went off. And at a point, I wasn't easy as well. At times, I would just go on the streets and just leave home and stuff like that. But after a point of time, things were like really tough, and we had to like sell stuff on the streets. So on the Ikeja Bridge, I sold nylon bags, and then in Nigeria they'll brand it.
Yes.
Yeah, nylon bag. That means you're the son of someone that sells nylon bag, and sometimes some people don't even remember your name. And some people that don't know about it, there's like, what happened there? So I did that, and then after a while on the OHTV bridge as well, so we sold spoiled tomatoes, so we couldn't even afford the real tomatoes. So whatever is left over is what we're going to use to cook, at the end of the day. So I had that background, and when I came to England as well, I lost my place and I had to live in the car. I was going to Southbank University at that time, so I'll go to Southbank to freshen up and stuff like that, and I have to park. When I pass that place, somewhere around Clapham Common, just tears just normally flow because,
You remember?
Yeah, this was a good number of years back, 2003. I was living in a car on the streets.
Wow.
So that's and when I was on campus, I when you are under strict parents and then you have your freedom.
You take it.
I was like, now I'm free. So I wanted to do a lot of things. So I left Christ behind, way behind. I was just doing my things. So that moment, if it wasn't for God's mercy that, Christ brought me back to life, I'll be born right now in hellfire. So I was just doing my thing, and I was on my way from the common room to my room, and then my heartbeat just stopped, and everything was clear, I saw myself drop. I saw my body come out of my, and I was floating.
Wow.
So I was like, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I'm going to heaven or whatever. And after a while, I just saw myself dropping in this dark pit. It was like an endless pit. And I was like, wow. All my senses were alive. I could smell, it was smelling horribly. All my senses were alert. And I was like I was like, wow, so I'm lost. This is it. Oh, and then after a while, I just saw a small speck of light from far away. The place was so dark that obviously even small speck, it was like so glowy. And it was coming, it was coming bigger. It was coming closer. And when the light came closer, that was when I noticed that actually, I thought I was just in a dark pit, but they were like these ugly creatures that was actually pulling me down in the pit.
Wow.
But they were so dark that they just blended with the blackness. And that light just came, and then you could see them panicking, and the light just took me, When that scripture says, the light shineth and the darkness cannot prevail, it makes so much sense to me. It just grabbed me out of their hands and brought me out of the pit. Wow. And then when I looked at the light, it was so bright, but I just saw like a form of a handsome man. But I couldn't, when I wanted to look more, I couldn't, so just brought me out of the pit, didn't say anything to me, just smiled at me, and then that was how I got back into my body. So I was pronounced dead for like 10 minutes. Wow. I attended FUTA, Federal University of Technology, Akure, in Ondo State, Nigeria. So that was how I came back. And then a few days, I gave my life to Christ. I was like, yeah. And then a few days after,
You forgot.
I just went back into my ways. And eventually, after the years, it was Dad that just kind of encouraged me and said, you only have this life,
some years ago, just after I passed out, I was pastoring in Nigeria. I've been pastoring for many years. And I had a burden for many of these boys that were in fraternities and gangs and cults.
Yeah.
And I just felt a sense of calling to them. And sometimes I'm preaching and someone walks in and God shows me stuff about them. Very strange. And there was this particular one, I was just about to lead the church and say, let's close. And just as we're about to share the grace together in fellowship, my eyes opened spiritually, and I saw they were planning to go kill someone that night.
Wow.
And the Lord just showed me everything. So I said, well, there's someone here. In fact, you have the gun here on you.
It's a word of knowledge.
It's a word of knowledge. For those of you who don't understand, God still actually speaks through people.
He most certainly does.
And you're here with the gun, you are planning this and planning that, and if you go tonight is your last night, you're going to die. That was it. Come and see me after the service. Wow. And the guy walks up to me. He says, listen, my father is a pastor. I don't fear God, I don't fear man.
Wow.
That was his introduction. The guy is dead now.
Wow.
His name is OPP. Everyone knew him he was on campus. He was wanted by the law. He's basically one of the most violent people I've ever met. You know, and he said, listen, Pastor, I have no problem with you. But if you don't tell me who leaked the story to you,
Wow.
I will deal with you.
Wow.
Like I said, my father is a pastor. He's disowned me. And I fear no human being. I don't even fear God. So I said, yes, someone leaked the plans to me. But I was not a human being. The Spirit of God told me.
I love that.
Absolutely.
And if you go out, tonight is your last night. You're going to die. And I now described what God showed me.
Wow.
And he said, see, I've been coming around. And I thought all this church thing is a joke. But this one, there is no way you'll have known the plans. And to cut the long story short, he started coming to church. He didn't get saved initially. He would come to church and watch. And then one day, he gave his life to Christ.
Wow.
And I mean, I told you he's been involved in a lot of things.
Yeah.
And before long, they were looking for him. The police was looking for him. You know, we got him a lawyer. He had done so many things. Guess what? He was locked up in the prison.
Wow.
And he had an encounter with Christ in the prison. And he came out of the prison preaching everywhere. He died not too long ago, and they said at his graveside, so many former cult boys gathered round. He had preached to them. He had gotten so many people saved. God is merciful. He can actually transform people.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't know what your journey was. You know, maybe you've been in church all along. There are people who have been in church, but church has never been in them. In other words, they grew up in a religious environment, but they never really had a journey of walking with the Lord. Some, they backslid. I backslid, I front slid, I did all sorts of breakdowns with
Side
God,
slid.
you know,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and I can tell you for sure that if God can change anybody, he can change me.
Yeah.
We normally don't preach on this program. We just like to share our testimonies. We're going to take a break now, but to sign off, you guys have a second video, which
We
I'd like
do.
to sign
We do.
off with.
And it's called Stand Still. It's the remix actually of the song Stand Still, and it's so interesting how it fits in with everything that you've been talking about, because it is about standing still and just watching God take you through any situation. And I won't spoil it for you because there's a story in it, but let God take over, let him fix it for you, let his light shine through in your situation. No matter how it turns out, even the stories that we've just heard, they're not always straight, but God always is there, and he's always ready to take you through whatever the situation is. And that's really what the song is about.
So viewers, stand still.
When your world is falling down around you, crashing down around you, coming down about you, and your life is spinning so fast you can't see your way through. Your way out. give you victory.
Hello, my name is Anu Omideyi, and today we're bringing you updates on recent news in the UK concerning the Christian community. First up, a bid to overturn a county court's ruling of discrimination against a Christian baking company who refused to bake a cake promoting same-sex marriages ground to a halt in Northern Ireland this month. This is because the Attorney General sought to make last-minute representations about any potential conflict between the law on equality in the region and the European human rights law. Daniel and Amy MacArthur appeared at the Court of Appeal in Belfast on the 3rd of February, ready to, in Mr MacArthur's own words, appeal to them to recognise that there is a big difference between refusing to serve someone because of their sexual orientation or political opinion and choosing not to endorse those ideas. 2 days before the hearing, leading gay rights campaigner Peter Tatchell publicly stated that he now disagrees with the original county court's ruling, describing the legal action against the baking company as a step too far. Unfortunately, the full hearing has now been adjourned to the 9th of May. In other news, a bill seeking to protect women and challenge the application of Sharia law in the UK has been approved by the House of Lords. Baroness Cox's bill will now be handed over to the House of Commons for consideration. The bill seeks to deal with Sharia councils, of which it is estimated there are 30 in the UK, that are said to provide inadequate protection for Muslim women and children from violence and abuse. The bill is supported by Christian Concern. Andrew Williams, its chief executive, said, "We continue to support this bill because we recognise the injustices Muslim women face in our country. We also recognise the danger of allowing Islamic law to operate as a quasi-legal system within the UK." In our final bulletin today, it has emerged that the government is pushing plans to allow large stores to open for longer on Sundays in a so-called effort to boost economic growth. The plans have been widely criticised by those who wish to keep Sunday special and the Christian community at large, who argue that any boost to the economy is likely to come from removing Sunday premiums offered to workers currently. Disappointment was also expressed at the disrespectful and contemptuous way that the plans were added at the last minute to the Enterprise Bill during its second reading in the House of Commons on Tuesday the 2nd of February. Labour MP Angela Eagle said, "I can only assume that the government chose to introduce the changes to Sunday trading at such short notice in the hope that they can bounce them through the House with minimum opposition and scrutiny." Well, that's all from us today. Join us again soon. My name is Anu Omideyi and you are watching Christian Weekly News.